Didn't even mind. Sorry. Oh. What's up, Levi? Or should I say 207 nano reefing? Just packing eBay stuff. It's your boy, 207 nano reefing. You working today? Or are you off? Oh yeah, that was it. Oh, crap, dude. Terrible. You're on the 1-day transfer or whatever? Yeah, hiding. They know I'm in the room. Oh, yeah, you got that 1 day. Yeah. Possibly the worst schedule swap in the world. Oh man, that box is way off. Gotta love Walmart boxes, dude. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, tank is nothing really going on with it. Bubble algae is being fought back for sure. There's still quite a patch of it, like you can't really see it, but out behind the Slimer and on the Fabia. I'm not really sure what the heck is why they don't go over there, but they haven't been going over, so. But I'm not too worried. I just leave it alone. Let you know me. I let the tank do its thing. I don't know if you can see it, but that acro up on top is like the color on it is going nuts on the top tips. Looks like we got somebody else in here. I'm not really sure who it is, but oh, you can see the white lights just came on. Must be, I don't even know what time it is. That's not good. Put it right there. Yeah, it's kind of like a goldish yellow for sure. The base is super puffy now. I don't know if you can see that too, but like where it's encrusting is super puffy. But like I said, tank's been doing really good. Growing quite fast actually. I was going to do a video the other day, but I had to delete it. I had not enough space on my phone, but I got to take care of that Rainbow Monty. That thing is encroaching again on the green slimer, so I really got to, you know, take care of that. Fun. What else do I got? Okay. Helmet and bowling ball. I think they will fit in these. Hopefully. Honestly, yeah, one of the biggest, I don't even know what to call it. Pain in the ass corals, I think. Like the GSP is, you know, quote unquote bad, but this kind of takes the cake to a whole nother level. Because it doesn't just encrusting, it literally like just covers things. That's how fast it grows. I mean, you know, you have one now. Luckily it's on your back wall, but I think on your back wall, though, it will look really good on the back wall. Because I do like the look of it. Like, the colors are really nice. The orange, the green, like, mixing together. Like, I think it looks sick. But I I don't like it literally smothering other corals. That's a pain. How am I going to ship that bad boy? I might have to put it in a big box. Boom. Don't mind me just packing up a bowling ball. Oh! I'm gonna feel bad for the person who has to lift this at the post office. It is heavy. My God, that thing gets heavy for what it is. No denying what that one is. All right, let's see here. One more. I think it will fit in here. Wait. Oh yeah, look at it. Might even fit one of the smaller ones, to be honest. I told you, dude, anytime I move around in here, they take right off, which is kind of crazy because I'm in here quite a bit. So, I don't know. Like, you get to enjoy them swimming around if you just sit still, but, like, if you're moving around, they just hide instant. Which, whatever, but... Oh, dude, will that fit? Oh, hell yeah, that'll fit. Gotta go get more shipping supplies after the last 2 weeks. Oh my God. I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of cutting this box down. See them all hide? I'm going into the closet? Yeah, they're all hiding. I guess it's going to have to be bubble wrap because I am fresh out of packing paper. Yeah, true. It is a good thing. What the heck? Now it's gonna run out. Where'd I put it? There it is. You ever have a really nice pair of jeans and then they just start deteriorating on you? Yeah, that's what's going on with a pair of my Levi's right now. And I hate it. Alright, everything's done. Now I can print my labels. Did I not turn this on? There we go. Yeah, like the one pair of jeans that really fit me, right? I shouldn't even say fit me. One pair of jeans I really like. They're not super tight on the legs. They fit really nice from the waist. Right knee is fucking shredding apart. Like, I don't know. Just pisses me off. How heavy is this friggin' thing? Gotta be heavy. Wait, what? Okay. Alright, yeah. What the heck? Oh, 9 pounds. 15, 12, 10. A little more than I was expecting it to be. Yeah, definitely not buff. Fluff, maybe. Got a little fluff going on. £1, 8, 11, 7, 5, 5. Oh, no, 5, 5. Dang, dude. Wait, why are these not combined? Alright, that saves me a little bit. £1, 8 ounces, 7.5. No. Alright. There's that. Beetlejuice. Old Beetlejuice. 4 ounces. Dang, gave them free shipping on that. Nice. Good for them. Oh. God dang it. Ah, dang, I forgot one. Let's see here. Yeah, no. Go get buff, guy. Bowling ball. Oh my gosh, that thing is heavy. $15, $12, by 8 by 10. Whoa, whoa. By 10. No. Comments. 1 pound. 14 ounces. Clues. Yeah, ounce. 1.5. 1. And the cupcake. 3 ounce. Ship it. Okay. Actually, can I check? She's good. Phew. I want to turn that off, actually. Print them. Excuse me. Holy smokes, that's a lot. Why do I feel like it wasn't that much? Olivia. Thanks, CS. Much appreciated. Do you have a tank yourself? Robert. We'll be setting up a 13.5 soon, new to saltwater. Just found your channel yesterday. Well, thanks for watching. Honestly, these tanks are... back when I started back in 2009. And you had to, like, figure all this stuff out on, like, forums and stuff. But these tanks now, like, with the built-in all-in-one setup is, like, amazing. Even the stock light can run majority of these corals in here. Probably not the SPS, but like everything else can definitely be run on a stock light. Even the stock flow pump probably would be good for majority of them. I do recommend adding another wave maker in there just so you can get some added flow, or even upgrading your rear pump, but you don't need to do that for a while, especially if it's something like if you're new to the hobby or whatever. But these tanks are great. The new all-in-one tanks are amazing. Beetlejuice. Oh, let's get on with that. Okay. Yeah, hopefully you like the content. I know it's a little janky, I guess you would say, for compared to like some of the other content on the internet for tanks, but I'm trying to get a little bit better on that. But the tank really, you can't really complain about these tanks, especially, you know, price range. You get pretty much everything you want and then some in a reef tank. The only ones I do find to be like the best value for like a nano tank around this size is probably the Hello Reef setup. And the only reason I say that is because it comes with like everything you need to start a tank. It has your rock, your sand, your light, wave maker, your pump, a refractometer, Dr. Tim's nitrifying bacteria. It's got like the whole thing you need to start. I think it's like $540 for the full setup, which is like pretty incredible because, like I was saying, back in the day, you had to find all this information on how to even like set up a reef tank. You know, what do I need? How much rock? How much of this? How much of that? And now it's so simple, but the prices, you know, prices are better on certain things, but much worse on others. Like equipment wise, they didn't have like Chinese made, like, well, I don't even want to say Chinese made, but they didn't have like low end price point like wave makers and stuff that actually performed well. Now they do. Same thing with lights. Like you couldn't buy $100 light back in the day and it grow coral for you. Like that just wasn't going to happen. But now everything, you know, everything's out there and it's not a big secret. It used to be a big secret, but it's not anymore. Um, yeah, I've been in the hobby for a long time, so and I've done a ton of research over the years. I shouldn't say I've been in and out of the hobby for many years. I started off my journey with a 10-gallon Petco tank with a compact fluorescent light on it, and you know those little swirly lights that you have in your like in a house. Basically the same thing as that, but on a reef tank. Um, I was very new to it. I had a yellow tang in there in a 10-gallon tank. Mind you, that yellow tang I think was like $30 that you could buy at the time. Um, what else? And then I took that tank and moved it up to a 20-gallon long, then to a 30-gallon, back down to a 20-gallon. Sold that setup. Had a metal halide on it for a minute. Sold that setup. Took a few-year break. Came back. Had a 40 breeder. I've had a few tanks and plenty of ups and downs in the hobby. So I just try to share as much knowledge as I can. It's kind of hard to like cram as much as I can into a conversation or into a video format, because even just, you know, touching base on a few things is, you can get pretty deep. Alright. So the packing is all done for today. Now I just gotta bring this stuff to the post office. But yeah, I'm glad that you're on the channel and you're liking my videos, and I really appreciate that. That's you know, I thought about making videos way back. I think it's probably 2015, 2016 when I had my 40 breeder set up, and I probably should have at that time, because I was doing, you know, all the new stuff that people weren't doing yet. I had like, I don't want to say weren't doing yet, because big companies were, but I was doing bare bottom with Kessels, and but you know, things happen and life goes on, and I have one now. So oh, definitely, always new things to learn. Probably learn something new every single day in this hobby, I'll be honest with you. Whether that be how to treat certain coral disease, or you know, get more polyp extension, or medicine for fish. Like, blows my mind the amount of knowledge that's out there from the old timers and the new guys. Like, blows my mind. Oh. I'm gonna try and get a new angle. This angle is not that it's boring. It's just tank's not very big, so you know, getting a different view is always nice. Move it in just a smidgen. Just did a water change last night. Didn't clean the glass. I'm trying to, not that I'm trying to not clean the glass, I'm just trying to leave some stuff for the fish to eat, I guess you would say. Not fish, but cleanup crew to eat. But I wish it would come out clearer too in the live, but it just doesn't. But if you're wondering what these plugs are, those are my solution to easy fragging of zoes, so you don't have to take the rocks out. You just put a frag plug there, let the zoas grow on top of it. Then when you're ready to frag some zoas, you just cut around the base, pull the plug off, and then put it on a frag plug, and there you go. That's why they're white. They just got put in there the other day. I'm trying to, I tried cutting a few off without pulling the rocks out. Just wasn't working, so I said, well, I'll just cut the bases off a few frag plugs and glue them in there. And when it grows on, I'll just remove it and put it on. Plus, I can cut the circle plug up top. I can cut that in half the best I can with a pair of snips, and I can maybe get like two onto a out of that, two frags out of it. But the zoas just grow too fast, like especially the ones right below the green slime. Well, I shouldn't even say below it, all around it, like these. I think they're purple monsters, I think is what they're called. And they grow like weeds, absolutely grow like weeds. I've fragged them at least twice now, and they just keep growing. It's not like an issue, it's just, as you can see, they're right on the base of the green slimer, circling around now. They started way down here as one little frag, right in that little section. Now they've grown up and around the green slimer and in front of it. I guess it's a good problem to have. Don't mind my fish. They're kind of, there's 7 fish in there. You wouldn't know it, but there is 7 fish. The 2 clowns have been up in that spot since the first day I put them in the tank. They've never left. I mean, they do come out and free swim every once in a while, mostly when nobody else is in the room. But 2 clowns, 3 chromis, a clown goby, war paint green clown goby, and an ORA dotty back, purple dotty in here. I do want to move, the green chromis to a different tank. I mean, they do great. They don't even fight each other. But, yes, they're very great at hiding. The clown goby pretty much stays in the candy cane right here. Pretty much in here all the time. One chromis lives right underneath it. He just hangs out right there. You can see him. The other one recently homed to behind the jelly bean rock over there. The jelly bean chalice rock. The other one just sits on the other side, the back side. If I'm not in the room, they're out and about. Well, I just noticed something. I'm doing my water change yesterday. I never turned my ATO back on. So this is a good learning thing right here. If you have a kalkwasser in your ATO and you forget to turn your ATO back on after your water change, do not just turn your ATO back on. Fill it up with regular water before you turn it on. It's better safe to fill it up with no water and not have your dosing than it is to just dose that much all at once. So I'm going to go get some water real quick and put it into the tank. One more, maybe? That's better. And now I can turn my ATO back on, which for this system it's only a valve. It's all gravity fed. But that's something I've always used if I can use it, is gravity feed for my ATO, so that's what I do. It's simple. No power usage. Clean your, what's it called? But in a week, oh man, it's hard to determine because my reservoir is 5.5 gallons. So for this tank, I literally, I think I go like 2.5, 3 weeks, maybe more, maybe even more than that. Actually, probably closer to a month before I ever refill it again. So maybe a little less than a gallon a week, I'd say. Maybe a gallon a week. Yeah, probably more than just over a gallon. Sorry. Um, Technically, you don't need an ATO. If you're confident that you can fill it up with fresh water every day, then do that. Uh, if you're not confident in doing that, then get an ATO. They're relatively cheap now. You know, they're not extremely cheap, but if you go the route that I did, it is relatively cheap. I think a float valve is like $10, $15, and then my reservoir was maybe 20. I think I got it at Walmart. It's just a basic water container. I drilled a hole in it and then ran RODI tubing out of it down to my float valve on top, and there you go. Again, if you don't have the ability to gravity feed, that won't work for you. You'll have to buy like a sensor kit and all that for an auto top off. But there is plenty of, I guess you would say, like cheaper Chinese ones that people say work great. So there's the clown goby. Might be able to see him. He's right over here. Maybe not. I like to have an ATO because it's, I don't know. I like to not have to worry about the tank. So a lot of this tank is automated. Um, have the ATO. I have automatic feeder. Uh, I have a Apex Junior, which is something that you definitely do not need. Um, I use it purely for the fact of monitoring the system. I monitor pH, which tells me if my um, in how my system works. It tells me if my ATO is either dosed too much, like if it's stuck, the float valve is stuck on, which probably won't happen because I clean it often. Um, but I use that in a temperature probe, so it kind of tells me if the tank is running, because if not, you won't be able to access Apex. So if you lose power at your house or whatever, you won't be able to access the Apex. Um, so I have pH and temperature, and it also has leak detection on it if there was ever like a leak, if it overflows. And I also use a smart, like a Wi-Fi smart strip, so I can control like um, my return, my heater, my algae reactor, which I don't really use anymore. It's only on for like an hour. but it gives you the controllability. Like, say if you see the temperatures going too high, I can go on my app for the smart strip and I can just turn the heater off. That way, like if I'm not around, kind of thing. So this tank is very automated in that aspect, where I can, I guess you would say, leave for a few days and then everything should be fine, theoretically. I did go on vacation last year after first setting it up for, I think it was like 3 or 4 days, and just had my buddy come over to check to make sure nothing was going bad and everything was good. But yeah, I think it's the best way to plan for any reef tank. If it was like just regular old fish tank, I'd say you're probably good for a while. Uh, but there's so many, living organisms in here. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's needed because it's not needed. If you got somebody who can, oh, if you have somebody who can come over and just inspect for you and has a relative idea of what they're looking at, is the water in the back chambers low? If it's low, then fill it up with RO. Um, Feed the fish once a day. My fish get fed 3 times a day, but that's different. I have them on auto feed, so they get small portions throughout the day. But I just like to enjoy the tank. I don't like to work on it too much, so that's pretty much um, what I've come to over the years of, what's it called, reef keeping. What time is it here? Wow, only 9. Okay. All right. Pretty early. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's no point in having a reef tank like this, even a small one, or even a big one, if you can't enjoy it, because the work just overloads the whole tank itself. Um, I like the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. I'm pretty stupid, so if I can keep it simple, I'm good. Uh, Enjoy the tank, and when problems arise, any recommendations for cleaning the glass? This one of these bad boys right here, Flipper Nano. So it has a metal blade, scraping blade right here. It's blunt, so it's not sharp. Um, I've never had a problem running into the seams on the side. I go easy, obviously. I don't, ram the hell out of it. But it also has the tank is super high flow, so it's hard to show it. Um, but the way it's supposed to work is when you get over to like a corner, you're supposed to turn this like that. You see how it broke loose? And then it will flip itself around, and on the back side there's like a Velcro pad where that's your scrubbing side. I never use it. I always use the blade. So I just, go right across. It actually needed to be cleaned a little bit, but super easy. They have, it's got a good magnet on it, especially for like a nano tank. You don't want super crazy strong magnet, because when you go to do the corners and you move that thing, whew, it'll snap extremely hard. But yeah, this right here, I had another one, like a no-name brand. Can't remember. I think I got it from Walmart. but it wasn't completely sealed, so the magnet inside started leaching, it started rusting, and that's just no bueno for a tank like this. You don't want any of that excess stuff in here. So that was right at the beginning. I figured that out and bought the old nano flipper. And I've had the flippers before in the past, but I was trying to, you know, not spend money on the tank, and I should have just been smart and spent the right money first instead of the wrong money. And then this right here is another flipper product. It's just a magnifying glass filter that's on the phone right now. Goes on here. I just attach it to my phone by like tape. Just makes it super easy to remove. And all it does is sit in there, and then you can get like some, you know, some good views of filtered light, because the blues are pretty intense. So like under full blues, this tank it's pretty wild colors. Right now, I think it's at, let's take a look ski. Yeah, it's only at 2% whites right now, 100% blues. So Flipper has some great products. They also make, this is, oops, sorry, I just hit the camera. This is their nano version. They make like a, obviously like an 8-inch one for like, you know, those big tanks. But definitely not needed, but one of those cool things to have, to be able to look at, you know, polyps up close and stuff. It's pretty cool. I really enjoy that part. But yeah, the old nano flipper float is it's the thing to have if you want to clean your glass. Keeps your hands out of the tank, cleans really well, super easy to use. In a lower flow tank, you can use that, you can get it to flip around in the corners, but if I was to do that and it detached, it would just take off floating in the tank right now. So if I ever want to use the scrub side, which like I said, I never use it, I take the lid off the tank and then I just manually flip it around. Where is my water? There it is. It's too bad the ORA dotty back is the way they are. It's a beautiful fish, so purple, but they're quite mean. You can kind of see that. He's definitely hungry, that's for sure. Let's see if I can't get a little bit closer as well. You'll have to show me when you get your tank set up, CS. I'd love to see it. As you can see, that green chromis is, that's his little, that's his spot. Hoping you guys can see the clown goby. He's my favorite fish in the tank. Just crazy like markings and coloration on him, and easily one of the most interesting fish inside of a reef tank is a clown goby. Whether you get like the yellow or the green, just neat looking. Especially how they move around in the tank. They just perch in places, you know, hang out. My buddy 207 Nano Reefing has one. He's got a yellow and does the same thing as mine does. Hangs out in the candy canes, which is kind of funny that they both do the same thing, but where is the clown goby at the moment? He's in the candy cane. You can kind of see him, that little black dot right above the chromis. Hey, Humble, how's it going? I'll give him a small snack of some frozen. I'm good. How are you doing, Humble? Just finished up some of my packing stuff today, and what's it called? Now I'm enjoying the tank. Oh, you see him. There he is. There's the madness. This tank is a Fluval Evo 13.5. So total water volume is 13.5 gallons. Oh. I think one of the reasons why they don't come out and they just kind of hide is they get fed very well, so they don't really have to be out swimming the water column and looking for food. And it is a high flow tank. I mean, they swim just fine in the tank, but... Oh, nice, Humble. That's awesome. You watched a couple videos. Even left a comment on how you set up your back chamber. Oh, yeah. I hope I explained it as well as I could in a comment. If you want, I can go over it real quick. I won't show you, because there's really nothing to show. I can tell you how it is. So first chamber has a bag of ceramic pellet media at the bottom that just come with the tank. I just left it in the bottom. I no longer use the stock sponges that come with the system, so I just took those out. I use, for the first year, I used an algae reactor. I built one myself. Have a video on that. So the pump for that is in the first chamber. Excuse me. So that pumps out into the algae reactor. The algae reactor pumps back in to the second chamber. But on top of the pump is a bag of carbon, and on top of the bag of carbon is a bag of GFO, and on top of the GFO is my filter pad. Second chamber holds my heater and matrix media, which is just a place for nitrifying bacteria to grow. It looks like a rock that's very porous. Nothing crazy in that. I also have my water level sensor in there as well for my Apex Junior. Something you don't need to worry about if you don't have an Apex Junior or an Apex period. And then in the last chamber, it's just my return with my air stone for my micro bubbler. Again, not something you need, a micro bubble. So just the return pump, really. I try to keep it as simple as possible. I do not run a skimmer. I do not run like a filter roller. I say try to keep it simple as possible, and I have an algae reactor on the back of it, but that's not something you need. I had a pretty hard outbreak with algae at the beginning because I have a pretty large bioload on the tank. So I was running that to keep my nutrients down, and they got to a point where they were steadily, showing zeros on my nitrates, and my phosphates were starting to creep up, so that's why I started running GFO. Other than that, I try to keep it simple. Don't try and go like super fancy, just let the tank kind of do its own thing, I guess you would say. Oh, I forgot to add, second chamber does have my float switch for my auto top off, but that's nothing to do with like filtration. Nice. How do you like the Innovative Marine stuff? I definitely like their tanks and their setups. It looks like they come, it's a quality setup for sure. Um, my buddy said he was getting back into the hobby and he wanted to get a tank, so I went out and I said the first all-in-one I find is the one I'm buying. Of course, I went to a big chain store, and the first one I found was a Fluval Evo. But and then I completely upgraded it to, all the bells and whistles, I guess you would say. I want to get a 60 breeder. Any recommendations for test kits? Salifert or Hannah? If you have a problem with reading colors, go with Hannah. If you don't have a problem with reading colors, go with Salifert because the price is way better with Salifert. I will say that you need to read the directions and follow directions to a T no matter what on every single test kit. On this system, I run one Hannah tester for alkalinity because it gives me an exact number. And to be honest with you, I don't really worry about the alkalinity too much. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to go up and down. Oh, somebody's scrapping real quick. And but I use API for everything else. So at the moment, anyways. So I use for phosphate, nitrate, calcium, I use API. Hannah, I use for alkalinity. And for magnesium, I use Salifert. How high is your elk, Humble? And are you dosing anything? And if you're not dosing anything, what salt do you use? .1 is not bad. I would not worry about a 9.1 alkalinity. Do you have nitrates and phosphates in your system? If you have nitrates and phosphates in your system, I would definitely not worry about a 9.1 elk. Everybody gets so caught up on numbers, but I use Purple Bag Instant Ocean. Okay, yeah, so you just use the regular stuff. You don't use reef crystals. Yeah, like this system right here, probably, I'd say a month and a half ago, I don't want to say low, but so this system runs reef crystals. So it has a high alkalinity, high calcium, and high magnesium to be able to support coral without essentially having to dose, is what it really is. So this system runs a high elk. Like I'm running 11, I'm pretty sure. But I feed the system 3 times a day. And I also use aminos as well. And the tank wasn't always at 11. It was down at 8 for a while. But it was dropping like pretty quickly throughout the week. So I went to full saturation on my kelp for dosing in my auto top off. And it slowly started to raise up to 11 over the like month and a half, 2 months. And I haven't had any like quote unquote ill signs of, coral issues. So I'm just letting it do its thing. Like this tank still gets fed 3 times a day, plus aminos, and it still really doesn't show any nutrients. So it's kind of, I take it as the coral is sucking up my nutrients just as fast as they're being put into the tank, which is probably true because I do have a good amount of coral in here, mixed between stonies and softies. So that's just my take. People get too worried about numbers. Worry about how the coral are looking, and if the coral look healthy, then you're probably doing all right. Excuse me. Euphilia, I'm not too. I don't have much experience with like euphilia, especially like struggling euphilia. Um, there's a lot of people out there that say like manganese, and you need like some manganese in there, but I don't know. Uh, I think a lot of the issues when it comes to euphilia is like disease that people just don't know about. Because I see a lot of people who do these like, I want to call them a concoction dip, where it's like a dip with many different things in it, and the coral look you know, they get dipped and then they look great afterwards. So it's, for me, it's, I'm not really too sure, especially like Euphilia wise, because I'm not a big Euphilia guy. I don't, it's not really my thing. I don't really see the hype in Euphilia. That's just me. Um, but I would definitely look on like Reef to Reef and see if and do a little research, see if you can find some things on maybe what is causing like either whatever is going on, whether it's retracted or like it's having polyp bailout. Um, if it's having brown jelly, just take that thing right out of the tank. It's not even worth it to try and save because it's most likely not going to be saved. Also, I feel like they can't withstand as much flow as say as many other corals. Um, like I feel like they're pretty much like a I don't know. Like I've seen some people that have, you know, Euphilia in some decent flow, but for the most part, I think they're a pretty low flow coral. Like they should just barely be waving around, um, kind of thing. Just tentacles floating kind of in the flow. Again, just my take on it. Over my all my years, I've never been a big Euphilia torch guy. It's just not what I'm into, but that's just me. Let me see here. Oop. Yeah, I think I've had over my years of reefing, I think I've had one frog spawn, and that was my extent of Euphilia. Um, let me say here, and I think, well, I made a mistake with my system, and I decided to add a sump onto my 40 breeder, and I pretty much crashed the system because I used the wrong silicone. All, you know, the learning trials of back in the day before everything was, you know. I mean, you could find this information, no doubt about it, but I found it after the fact, of course. But that was my extent of Euphilia was a frog spawn, so I have really no expertise, I guess you would say, with that coral. Um, I would say, you know, check your calcium, your magnesium, all that stuff. Check your parameters, and if your parameters are in check, Um, check out the forums and see if there's anybody else on there that have issues similar to yours. Oh, I forgot. I gotta go get my drink. My urchin has dropped his little coral frags he had on him. Mm. Yes. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Excuse me. How does it kind of go? Does it? Yeah. Let's be out now. But yeah, Humble, you'll have to show me your Fluval once you get it set up. I'd love to see the 25 as well. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. All of the names are exactly the same, at Main Reef. So if you ever want to just go on there and send me a message, that'd be cool. I'm always down to see everybody's tanks. I love seeing tanks. So me and my buddy 207 Nano Reefing, I mean, we see each other's tanks just as much as we see our own, you know. We send pictures every day, so pretty much. But, you know, when you love being in the hobby, that's just something you do, so. Excuse me. My gosh. What the heck is going on? I thought they had that, but it's not. But if you're new to the tank, say what's up. Looks like I got 3 people in here. It's a mixed reef. It's been up and going 13 months now. That's how old the tank is. And I've just been chugging along for 13 months. Had a real issue of a ulva or sea lettuce outbreak at the beginning. To be honest with you, I should have just grown it out. I could have, you know, ate sea lettuce for probably a month easily off of these rocks. But that's just how it goes, you know. You go through the quote-unquote ugly phase of a reef tank, and my ugly phase was massive amounts of sea lettuce all over every rock that I had. Biggest thing that took care of it was well, two things. I have an algae reactor, and my tuxedo urchin. Uh, Probably one of the hands down best cleanup crew you can put in a reef tank, and very cool to watch, is a sea urchin. Um, as long as you don't mind not having coralline algae, uh, they will literally eat your rocks to bare white, like right down to, they'll take everything. Your rocks will almost always look relatively new. I mean, wherever they go. Um, but yeah, if you have no problems with not having coralline algae all over the place, get a sea urchin. Or if you have too much coralline algae, get a sea urchin. I bet they take care of it. The only place I think I have it in my system is on my power head and on my return nozzles, because everywhere else the sea urchin is able to get to. Let's see if I can't get this thing over here. Doesn't really work that great because it's on an angle, shooting at an angle. That isn't actually my brother-in-law, is it? It is. Excuse me. Well, at least you were able to catch your mistake. Um, Sorry, I'm in a live on my fish tank there. um, the good thing about that is you can lower it down with water changes over the next few days. I would definitely like spread it out over days for sure. I wouldn't really wait, but it's definitely one of the things that you for sure want to read the directions on every test kit that you do and follow it to a T. If it tells you, you know, to mix for a minute, mix that thing for a minute. But it's good that you caught it. Yeah, lucky you keep water mixed up for sure. Thank you for saying tank's beautiful. It's the first one I've really filled out, but it's such a small tank that it's kind of easy to fill out, so it looks a lot more, you know, impressive, I guess you would say. What do you have for a reef tank? I don't want to say your name wrong. Galen? I think it's Galen Davidson. Oh my gosh. Oh, nice. So you got both nanos. One of them's a pico, really, but this is not the smallest tank I've ever had, but the second smallest. I had a 10 gallon, and this is a 13, but absolutely love them. Super easy to do. Nice. Yeah, back in the day, you could get, you could go to a local fish store and get actual live rock. Not too many have that nowadays. Mostly dry rock, but that's awesome because live rock is, you want a good, biome in your tank. Start off with live rock. That's the way to go. Well, I'm probably gonna cut the live here, guys. I gotta go run to the post office. Um, what do you have in place for power outages? I have multiple power banks and USB air stones. So before I cut the live, I'll go over this. Um, back when I had my 40 breeder in 2016, we had a 3-day power outage, snowstorm here in Maine, and it was more of like an ice storm, I should say. And I went and bought a generator. So I have a small 3200 watt generator um, that I can use to plug in my whole system. Not everybody has one of those. Completely understandable, but I also have a battery bubbler, but that's not going to save the coral. Coral need flow, especially like the SPS and stuff. So that's why I have the generator. Um, I definitely highly recommend people getting a generator because, well, you never know what's going to happen. You never know how long the power is going to be out. So if you want to really save that tank, and it can be used for other stuff too, like you can, run a refrigerator for a little bit. You can run other stuff, but highly recommend a small generator. And but yeah, that's my power outage stuff. So, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the live. I'll be having more videos coming this week. I just 2 kiddos sick the last week, so been a lot of stuff going on here. But yeah, have a good one, guys, and catch me in the next video.